Disclaimer, one, the clips of me in the background are kind of just me messing around in maps, so excuse me if I'm not too great at the map mechanics. And two, do not send hate to any creator mentioned in this video. With that being said, enjoy. Hello everyone, I'm BabyDee. This video is purely about why GorillaTag is falling off and hard. There are going to be some really heavy themes, such as discrimination, discussed. However, there will be timestamps if you want to skip over heavy topics. The things discussed in this video will be content creation, cheats, mods, discriminatory behavior, children on accounts, and a little bit of my views on current situations. Let's move on to the first topic. Content creation itself isn't as bad as most of the other things on this list, but it definitely is something that needs to be discussed. Most content you see today about GorillaTag is not that great. Most big creators, such as J-Man, are moving away from GorillaTag, whereas previous videos were focused on GorillaTag. Other content creators also advertise cheat menus, more on that later. But most content creators don't have original video ideas. Lots of them are either screaming random stuff into the microphone to draw attention to themselves, or putting clips of playing over an audio that dozens of other creators have used. That content is genuinely just really lazy. It doesn't take any sort of time or effort. There are some channels that will milk their own ideas for dry. For example, LaSavageBoi. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the fact that he's open about GorillaTag. It's just, take a look at some of his titles of his videos, and just tell me they're not a little bit repetitive. There are the obvious ones, like Be Prepared, Neutor, and Scooby. Most content creators are just posting the same thing over and over with clickbait titles and thumbnails to get views, and probably get the finger painter. And it kind of just seems like that's all people really care about. Sure, it's rare and cool, but you don't need it, you know? Next up. This issue has been around ever since the game was released, basically. Most of it was harmless fun until people discovered that they could be used to crash players, read player IDs, and worse, player track them. By the time of me writing the script, August 5th, 2024, I have been player tracked in the last 48 hours. I was hopping city lobbies to find toxic players when a fully grown man in the lobby noticed I had this flag. He then proceeded to read my player ID in front of the whole lobby and got a couple people over, and they called me slurs. It wasn't that big of a deal as I opened up my Oculus menu, reported them for hate speech, and muted them. But right as I was muting the last guy, the guy who read my player ID, I heard him talking about player tracking me. I thought nothing of it, as player tracking, I thought, was pretty much fixed. However, as soon as I hop into the next city lobby, he joined. And again, and again, and again. I have never been player tracked since. However, yesterday was one of the scariest moments I've had while playing GorillaTag. But enough of my story, I want to talk about the community. Reading the official GorillaTag Discord says, quote, "This channel is locked at the time, but we would like to remind you that mods are not officially supported in this game. As such, it is not the game's responsibility to ensure their compatibility after each update. We take cheating reports very seriously. Our priority is to maintain fair gameplay and ensure a positive gaming experience for all. If you are reported for cheating while using mods, regardless of whether you believe them to be safe, there will be no unban. Once again, we strongly advise caution when using mods and recommend obtaining them from a more reliable source, such as the modding Discord. Link in the description. This will greatly reduce the risk of facing bans." To sum up what I said, Electronic Wall, a moderator, says that each mod has its own risk of bans, even if it's considered legal. It isn't supported by the main game, and therefore you still have a chance. You can have mods, just make sure they aren't causing harm, and if you do get banned, unbans won't be taken due to the mods being installed. That being said, this is the content creation side of mods. Massive creators like Elliot use mods in his videos that are viewed by young people who look up to big creators. Even small creators do full mod showcases, bragging about how their mod menu can crash games and make other experiences terrible. There are also lots of montage creators who use mods and give an unrealistic expectation for those who are new and wanting to be just as good at them. Overall, mods give GorillaTag such a bad rep, and advertising mods can ruin gameplay for those who just want to play. The effects of mods are also rampant. I myself have never used world scale, sticks, or any form of long arms, as I'm on standalone quest too. However, due to the young audience that have been exposed to mods at the beginning of their GorillaTag journey, they accuse me and possibly others who have longer arms. Me and others in competitive also get accused of platforms and cheats. Despite the WODs, this still isn't the worst of the community. Disclaimer, some topics in this section are very heavy, so if you would like to skip, there are timestamps in the description of the video. I'd like to start off this section by saying discrimination is completely unacceptable. However, returning the favor is also unacceptable. I will continue on this more at the end of the video, but for now, here's this section. Discrimination is rampant in GorillaTag as of now. This is in the form of racism, sexism, homophobia, and any form of bigotry. Racism isn't as rampant as it was before, but it still has a major impact on the game. However, my main focus on this section is homophobia. Due to recent events about a Pride update, most players have felt the need to quit due to their personal beliefs. No belief is wrong, believe whatever you want to. But fully quitting the game seems unprofessional and childish. Saying slurs is unprofessional and childish. False reporting for a cosmetic and ruining the game due to virtual pixels is unprofessional and childish. I myself am not part of the LGBT community. However, I have bought this cosmetic to show my support. During that update, I would see people getting harassed, reported, and worse, death threats were being thrown around. And by buying that cosmetic, I was trying to show my support to those who withstood harassment and sometimes even death threats. I still wear that cosmetic to this day to show my support, but homophobia is still a massive problem. As I previously stated, I was called slurs in player tracked for a cosmetic. Even though it is a terrible thing to withstand, we have to come to terms with it, possibly a kicking feature, whereas if most of the lobby report someone, they could be kicked. But by coming to terms with one another and respecting each other's beliefs, we can push closer to a better and possibly less toxic community. Then again, I've also seen harassment due to other players that don't support LGBT, and this is also very wrong. Pushing towards respecting others is near impossible, as people were all born and raised differently. But the closer we get to unity, we get closer to a better environment, and this goes for all forms of bigotry. Moving to a lighter topic, this topic does run through some of my other previous topics, but it's somewhat of a less needed topic. Children run through GorillaTag near daily. While there are measures to make sure it is only playable by people above 13, it is just as easy to fake your age and get in. Most of the popular creators' audiences are children. Just take a look at Jman's VidCon. And while there isn't quite a problem with this, it starts to become a problem when cheats and discrimination are viewed by literal kids. Fun fact, the brain fully develops around the early 20s. Another fun fact, children imitate older figures' behavior. Please think about this. This one is going to be focused on two massive things, MonkeVRGT and the Antoca situation. Number one, MonkeVRGT. If you don't know already, he's a content creator with fake cancer, copying other creators, and many other unacceptable things. I recently visited his Discord server just to see what was going on, and what I found was genuinely disturbing. Many people were spamming hateful messages and quote-unquote doxing him. This isn't right. I do agree that he's done some wrong things, but this is a perfect example of what GorillaTag isn't supposed to be. This ties into what I said earlier about returning the favor. Another thing we need to stop doing is giving him a platform. By not making immature diss tracks, constantly making videos on him for content farming, what we need to do is stop giving him attention. That's all he really wants, a place to grow and be popular. Another topic I wanted to discuss was the Antoca situation. This one's a bit old, however, Antoca does not deserve the amount of hate he's getting. Going on to his community tab for his apology, Some comments weren't even attempting to read his apology. And those who support the belief in Christianity, please read this. It is often taught in the Christian community that Christians are called to forgive those who sin against them unliterally and universally. Forgiving Antoca for a mishap will lead to less hate spread around the community and more positive interactions between players. Do I believe that someone may have been false banned in the video? Yes. Do I believe that it was entirely Antoca's fault? No. What I believe to what had to happen is Antoca was fed up with the players. He was most likely angry about the hate that was being spread around the community about the update. The ban, I believe, was in the heat of the moment, and probably won't happen again. Antoca must have heard the womp womp, thought the kid was being homophobic, and banned him. Please do not send hate to Antoca or any other members of the GorillaTag moderation team. Wow, you made it to the end of my rant. To sum up what's been said so far, hate isn't a thing that should be widespread in the GorillaTag community. With that being said, do not send hate to any creator mentioned in this video, as I stated in the beginning. Whether it be Antoca, MonkeVRGT, LaSavageBoi, Jmancruly, Elliot, literally anybody mentioned. Don't send hate to anybody, really. GorillaTag should be known as a safe place for everybody. We can do better. BabyDee.